Sometimes I feel like I've already seen everything that's gonna happen. And it's a nightmare.
My one true accomplishment was not dying.
I have this noise in my head.
It'll stop. One day it'll go quiet.
I don't imagine that anyone goes in for a robbery if they're not in some kind of desperation.
I've been at this a while now, and it's no secret what my face looks like.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be reviewing Cherry, starring Tom Holland and Ciara Bravo and directed by the Russo Brothers. There's two things that bother us and they go hand in hand. One being that they start off with a fourth wall, like Tom Holland breaking the fourth wall because he's talking to the camera, but then that stops. Like it stops like not even halfway through, and I'm just like, why? Like, if you're gonna do it, then commit to it. And the second one is that it started off stylized as well. It literally looked like an ad, it didn't feel like a movie. I felt like that could have really took the audience out of that world and made them realise that they're watching a movie. But I did really enjoy the cinematography. I thought it was quite nice. We also should talk about Tom Holland's acting range, because we all know Tom Holland's a good actor. Obviously he's been acting for donkey's years. He was in Impossible, then obviously Spider-Man, and then Devil All the Time. He really has been showing that he is not just like a one-trick pony with Spider-Man, which is what most people seem to think. They seem to think that just because he's Spider-Man, because he's in a Marvel movie, he doesn't have like a good acting range, but he genuinely is one of the best actors right now, and I really do think he should win an Oscar for this film, because it's something else. Like, it does get to the point where you just completely forget it's Tom Holland. You're just so immersed in that character. And Ciara Bravo also proves that she does deserve a place in Hollywood, because she was it Big Time Rush she was in, like a Nickelodeon show quite a few years ago. I did recognise that. I think it is Big Time Rush, and it just shows that she's wanting to get serious about it. And Tom Holland did actually talk about it in one of the interviews I watched, and he said that she really wants to work hard and put herself into this and give it her all, which I'm quite happy about, because it shows that she's definitely worth it. I think that the portrayal of the PTSD and what veterans go through was quite raw and honest. You really do see the pain of like the PTSD, like all the flashbacks and nightmares, and obviously he goes on to be a drug addict. It also shows as well the life of a drug addict and how harsh it can be and what it can leave you with. The chemistry between Bravo and Holland is just quite brilliant, really. It's obvious that they both work hard on this and that they've worked really hard on this film. Like, their acting is just absolutely brilliant in this film. I really do think both of them should be up for an award. But that goes with another thing, saying that Bravo's character, I think she's called Emily, wasn't really developed that well. We didn't know much about Emily. All we knew is that she met him and then they were together, and then we didn't really see anything about her life, and we should have seen more about her character and more of the background, so it can help us understand future points. I thought the score was quite good, but some parts didn't really match the scene. Like, there was some very dramatic music on really normal scenes, so I felt like it just didn't go, which kind of bothered me a bit. Okay, I need to talk about this. So, there's this one shot when he's getting like a medical examination to go into the army, and when you see it, you can't quite figure out what it is, and then it gets to the next shot and you're just like I kid you not, I had to pause it, and it took me at least like 2 minutes to process it, because I was just like, what did I just see? Like, why did they put that in there? I was so confused. Like, what was the point of that? Like, why did we need to see that? I don't think that was that needed, because the start of it was more stylized and like an ad. I feel like the tone wasn't really set in the beginning, which made the whole film kind of feel off. Like it just went straight in the stylized, and we didn't really have an understanding at the start. I just feel like the tone just wasn't set in the right way. I feel like they really tried to do so many things in this film, but I feel like it was half-assed basically. Like they just didn't keep going, or they didn't put enough effort into the certain parts, and it's a bit annoying because they really are easy to pick up on what they try to do, but then it didn't work very well. So that's one of the things that was a bit off about this film, which is a bit sad because it had a lot more potential. And one of the last things is that it's not a fast-paced film. I do feel like it could have been shorter. Like we could have witnessed everything, still got all the feelings, but it could have been shorter. I just feel like it felt like it dragged on a bit. I mean, obviously I think everyone should see this because it is quite different. Okay, so now for my final thoughts. So the first one is that I really do believe Tom Holland deserves an Oscar for this performance. His acting in this film was astonishing. Like you really do forget that it is Tom Holland, and you just think it's just the character. Like you just completely forget that it's someone acting, and you just get so immersed in the character. And I also think that Ciara Bravo should win some sort of awards, maybe not an Oscar, or maybe she because the character didn't get developed enough, so I feel like it wouldn't be Oscar worthy just because we didn't get enough of her. But I feel like she definitely could get an award, hopefully, maybe. One of my other final thoughts is that I'm still confused about the stylized and the fourth wall breaking and stopping. It really did like throw you off, because you're like, if you get like nearly towards the end, you're like, why wait, I thought he was talking to the camera, like why aren't they shooting like that anymore? And it really puts you off. Not puts you off, but like it's easy to realise that they're not doing it anymore, which could bring the audience out of that world and make them realise that they're watching a film rather than like feel like they're inside the world. I thought the performance of PTSD and the drug addiction really portrays well. As I also saw an interview that Tom Holland did, and it shows that he really cares about what veterans go through and how much of a hard time he had. So that could have also affected his performance, which could have made it better, because it seemed as though he did a bit of research on the role. And then my last final thought is that it is a very powerful film, and I would still recommend it, but it really is not for the lighthearted. There was one bit with a needle in the van, in his truck, which really, like, I had to block my ears because just the noise of it. It's just a very intense film. Like some shots are very intense. So that's just a bit of forewarning, it's not the lighthearted. So overall I would give this film maybe a 7.5. It's not the worst film in the world, and you can tell they did have the right thoughts about it, but they just weren't executed right. You can tell they did put a lot of effort in, especially for the actors, but unfortunately it just wasn't perfect as the way they think it is. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Remember to subscribe down below. I will be doing reviews of Falcon and the Winter Soldier weekly, and yeah, it's got a lot more content coming, so subscribe down below. I'd love to see you next week.